functions. So in this chapter, I am going to explain some output questions. Okay, let us see one by one. First question, def multiply number 1 comma number 2. Actually, this is function definition. Okay, this is function. Totally we are telling this is function definition. So this line was known as function header. Okay, this is function header. Okay, so inside this, so how many statements we used? 3 statements. Okay, at last this statement is outside this function. So output is equal to multiply of 5 comma 5. Okay, so this is known as function call. Function call. Did you understand, student? Okay. So how the program will execute? So what type of output we will get? Let us see. First, the program execution begins with main segment. The program execution begins with main segment. Okay. First, the control will move here. Just it checks the function header, whether we have given a correct function, proper function header or not. Okay, that is, it executes the function definition, but the lines what all we have given inside this function, it will not be executed until the function will be called. Until the function will be called. Okay. Now the program execution starts from this main segment. Okay, so this is the main segment. So first it checks the function header, the proper function header, whether we have given the proper function header or not. Okay, after that the control will move here. This is the function call. So here the 5 comma 5, inside this parenthesis we have passed, that is, this is the arguments. This is arguments. Okay, now inside 2 values we have given. So this value is passed to this parameter. Here inside the parenthesis, this totally we are telling this is function header. Here the number 1, number 2, these are all parameters. So here the first 5 is passed to this number 1. Then the second 5 is passed to this number 2. Okay, in function call, inside the parenthesis, what all we have used, that is arguments. What all we use, that is arguments. Here in function header, the parenthesis, we use the number 1 and number 2. Both are parameters. Both are parameters. Okay. Now the number 1 will take the value what? 5. Okay. The number 2 will take the value 5. Okay. The next now after the function call passes the value to these 2 variables, that is number 1 and number 2. Next, the control will move inside the function definition. Inside the function definition. So what we have given? Answer is equal to number 1 into number 2. So what will happen here? The number 1 value is what? 5. Number 2 value is what? 5. So 5 into 5. Now the answer value is what? 5 into 5, 25. So then the value 25 is assigned, that is stored to the variable answer. Okay. The next, what statement we have given? Print statement. So what it will print? Number 1 times number 2 is equal to answer. So number 1. So number 1, 5. Okay, then times. So here the times is given inside the single quotes. So as it is printed 5 times the number 2. It will take the value. So number 2 value is what? 5. So 5 times 5 then is equal to, that is equal to is given inside the, that is within single quotes. So as it is printed, then answer. Answer is what? 25. So this is the output. Okay. So 5 times 5 is equal to 25. 5 times 5 is equal to 25. Okay. After that, we have used, that is return statement. So return statement, what will happen? Immediately the value, that means the answer value is returned again to this function called. Return again to this function called. So that value is assigned to this variable output. That value is assigned to this variable output. Suppose if we have given one more line, that is print of output if we have given. So immediately the result 25 is printed on the screen. But just here we return the answer again to this function called. So the value is that argument are passed to this parameters, that means to this function definition, and that after finishing everything, again we are sending the result to this function called. Again the output is returned to this function called. Did you understand? So what type of output we have got? 5 times 5 is equal to 25. Here return answer, just it returns the result to this function called. So the value, the 25 is stored to this variable output, that is assigned to this variable output. Did you understand? Okay. Then one more question. The little bit changes only I am going to do. Little bit changes. That means here just I am going to change these two lines. I am going to change these two lines. So what will happen? Let us see. See, return answer. After that, I am going to use print statement. That is number 1 times number 2 is equal to symbol, then answer. So now here the last program I use this statement before the return statement, but just here I change this line. Okay, I change this line. So now what will happen? What type of output we will get? We will get. Let us see. First, the control will checks the function header, whether the proper function header we have given or not. Okay. After that, the control will come here. This is function call. Immediately, the call will transfer to this function definition. So that 5 is assigned to the value number 1. This second 5 is assigned to the variable number 2. Okay. Then number 1 and number 2 we are going to multiply. Then answer is 25. Okay. After that, what statement we used? Return of answer. So what will happen? Immediately the control will reach here. Immediately the control will reach here. So the answer is returned to this function called answer result. The result of the variable answer is again returned to this function called. Now the 25 is assigned to the variable output. Okay, what happened? Print. That print statement is not executed because when the control will reach the return statement, immediately the control will move to this function call, that is outside the function. So whatever we have given after the return statement, everything will be skipped. Everything will be skipped. So here we did not get any output. We did not get any output. That is nil means we did not get any output. Why? Because after the return statement only we use print statement. So what will happen? Immediately the control will come outside the function definition. Outside the function. So it returns the value to this function call. Okay. So the print statement, this statement will be skipped. Okay. Did you understand? Okay. Some more output questions we are going to see. Question I am going to write here. This is third question. Num is equal to 1. Then def my function here return num. Then print of num. Then print of my function. Then print of num. Okay. Let us see. First num. We assign the value 1 to the variable num. We assign value 1 to the variable num. Okay. This is function header. Okay. Just the control, that is the function definition will execute. That means it checks the function header whether we use the proper function header or not. Okay. After that the control will move here because the program execution begins with main segment. So this is the main segment. So here print num. So print num. So what value we use this num? 1. Okay. Here a num is equal to 1. We assign the value 1 to the variable num. This is global variable because we use this variable num value outside the function. So it is the global variable. So here num is a global variable. Okay. The next print my function. So print my function. This is the function call. This is the function call. So immediately the call will transfer. The call will transfer to this function definition. So what will happen? Just we used inside the function definition only one statement, that is return statement. So return num. So in return num means the call, the num value is passed here to this function call. So what value will take? That is it takes the value 1 because the num value is what? 1. So global variable, see here the num is equal to 1. Here the num variable is a global variable. So this variable is alive outside the function as well as inside the function also. We can take this global variable. Okay. So here the print statement will print the value 1. At last print of num. So this num value is taken. Did you understand? Here num variable is a global variable. The global variable means it is alive throughout. We can use this global variable throughout the program. That is, it will be alive until the program will be alive. That means when the program execution will finish, automatically the global variable value also that is gets over. That function will, that value also will get over. So we can use this global variable throughout the program. So inside the function, then outside the function, everywhere we can use this global variable value. Did you understand? So what type of output we have got? 1, 1, 1. Okay. The next program is here, little bit only I am going to change. Okay. See here. Num is equal to 10. Num is equal to 10. Return num. So see here, only one statement I used. Last program only inside the function definition, that return num only we used. So one more statement I added inside the function definition, that is num is equal to 10. I think you are having little bit confusion. I will explain. Here also we use the variable num. Then inside the function definition also we use the variable num. So what's the difference between these? That is, this num is a local variable. This num is a local variable. So it is alive inside the function definition. That is, it is alive inside the function. So outside the function it is dead. Outside the function it is dead. But this num is global variable. So inside the function as well as outside the function, this global variable will be alive. This global variable will be alive. Okay, I will explain. Let us see what type of output we will get. So the first, the control will check this function header. After that, the control will reach here. A print num. A print num means just it returns the value. That means it gives the value of the global variable. So the global variable value is what? Global variable num value is what? 1. Okay. After that, print my function. This is function call. Immediately the control will move to this function header, that is function definition. So what statement we use inside this function definition? Num is equal to 10. So now this num value is local variable value. Now the 10 is assigned to this variable num. After that, return num. So what will happen? Just the function, immediately the control will move here. So what value we have got? That is return num. The num value is what? 10. So this function call will return, that means it returns the value, the num will returns the value 10 to this function call. So here we are taking the value of this local variable num. So 10 is displayed. Okay. After that, print of num. So here we cannot access the local variable value. So this num will take the global variable value. Why? Because inside the function only it is alive. Inside the function only it is alive. So outside the function it is dead. So here a print of num means it will take the value 1. It will take the value num. Okay. And one more program we are going to see. So what that means, how we can access the global variable inside the function. how we can modify the global variable value inside the function. Let us see. How we can modify the global variable value inside the function. Num is equal to 1, then def my function, then global num is equal to 10, then return num, then print of num, then print of my function, then print of num. Okay, here we modified the global variable value inside the function. See here, the num is equal to 1. The variable num is a global variable. This is function header, that's function. Inside the function, totally we are telling this is function definition. So inside the function definition, 3 statements we use. Here num is equal to 10. Actually, this is not a local variable. Okay, this is not a local variable. This is a global variable. So here we modify the global variable value inside the function. So with the help of this keyword. So by using the keyword global, we can modify the global variable value inside the function. So it acts as a global variable. But it's not good to use the global variable inside the function. So inside the function, it is better to use the local variable. Then outside the function, it is good to use the global variable. But here, num is equal to 10. This num acts as a global variable. Okay, let us see how the program will execute. First, the control checks the function header. After that, the control will move here. The program begins with execution starts with main segment. So print of num. Here the num value is what? 1. Okay, just it takes the global variable value. Okay, outside the function we use the num variable now, so that it will take this value. Okay, the next the print of my function. So this is what? Function call. This is what? Function call. So immediately the control will move here, that is function definition. So what statement we use? That is global num. So this keyword is used to change the global variable value inside the function. So num is equal to 10. So here already we assign value to the global variable num as 1. But here the global variable value is changed from 1 to 10. Okay. So now the global variable value num is 10. Okay. Now return num. So the control will move this statement. So the num value is passed to this function call. So now it will take the value 10. Why? Because here the num we used inside the function acts as a global variable. So it takes the value 10. Okay. Again let's print num. So here the print num means it won't take the value 1. Why? Because we changed the global variable value. We changed the global variable value from 1 to 10. That means at first that value, that means global variable So by using the keyword global, we changed this variable value as 10. So it takes the updated global variable value. So 1, 10, 10. So what type of output we have got? 1, 10, 10. Did you understand? Okay. Then let us see one more question. Display of, this is function header, print hello and okay. The next this is function called display of. So after the use the print statement that. Okay, I will explain. See here. First, the control will check the function header. Then after that, the control will move here. The execution will begin from the main segment. This is function call. So this is what? Function call. So immediately the control will move. That means the control will transfer to this function definition. So what we have given inside, that is the print statement hello. So what we have given inside the print statement, so that is displayed on the screen. After that we used argument n. So argument n means here the cursor will stay on same line. Here the cursor will stay on a same line. So after this function, function call, the control will reach here. That means the function call. When the control will reach to this function call, immediately the call transfer to this function definition. So what statement given in this function definition? So that statement will be executed. After that the control will move here. Here what statement we have given after this function call? Print that. So what I said, n argument. So here the cursor will stay on the same line. So here only the that statement, that means the word that will be printed. Did you understand? So after printing the word hello, we use the n argument. So the n argument used is here cursor will stay on same line. So that here itself only the word that will be printed. Did you understand? So what type of output we are getting here? Hello there. Did you understand? Okay. I hope you understood my class. So what are some output questions only we have discussed in this